What's up everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Today we are going to be going over my favorite easy method for creating a ready-to-play character for Dungeons & Dragons. Before you start rolling any dice, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself what type of character you want to play. Any D&D campaign can easily turn into a very long and complex story. My two main campaigns have had regular sessions for over a year and they're still going strong. So you have to make sure that you come up with a character who you and your friends are going to enjoy developing for that amount of time. I feel like this post from r/D&D meme says it best. If you build a player character based on a Reddit thread about how to do 1,500 damage per turn by level 3, I will murder you. If you build a player character called Dr. Farts, who farts on people and was raised by fart golems, I will murder you. So think of something between those two extremes. If you need help coming up with ideas, I suggest talking to the other participants in your game and finding out what sort of characters they are planning on making. And you can use that information to build a character who covers the skills that the rest of the party will lack. For example, if I find out that my friends are going to be playing as a beefy Minotaur paladin and a druid with an abundance of healing spells, I know that it would be a good idea to create someone like, Okay, Frick, I gotta pick what I want my character to look like if I want to use this website. All these different races have their own buffs and debuffs when it comes to calculating the stats later, but I say do what looks the most badass to you and makes your heart happy. You can figure out the rest later. I like birds, so I'll choose Aarakocra. The first option I got was Sal, and I like it. She can be a swift and sneaky character who can deal with the stealth and investigation heavy quests that the paladin and druid might not be so good at. But how do we determine our character's skill set? There are 12 main character types or classes to choose from. D&D Beyond lists and defines them as Barbarian, a fierce warrior of primitive background who can enter a battle rage. Bard, an inspiring musician whose power echoes the music of creation. Cleric, a priestly magician who wields divine magic in service of a higher power. Druid, a priest of the old faith, wielding the powers of nature and adopting animal forms. Fighter, a master of martial combat, skilled with a variety of weapons and armor. Monk, a master of martial arts, harnessing the power of the body in pursuit of physical and spiritual perfection. Paladin, a holy warrior bound to a sacred oath. Ranger, a warrior who combats threats on the edge of civilization. Rogue, a scoundrel who uses stealth and trickery to overcome obstacles and enemies. Sorcerer, a spellcaster who draws on inherent magic from a gift or bloodline. Warlock, a wielder of magic that is derived from a bargain with an extraplanar entity. Wizard, a scholarly magic user capable of manipulating the structures of reality. There's also the Artificer and the Blood Hunter, but those come from expansions to the main player's handbook. They're much less commonly used and it's harder to find online resources that include them, so be sure to talk to your DM before you make one of these. This doesn't matter in our case anyway. The Rogue class seems like it's exactly what we're looking for with Sal. So now that we have the basic idea of our character, Sal, the swift and sneaky Aarakocra rogue, we can go ahead and build her. The game of D&D has grown a lot since it was first created in 1974. In our modern age, programmers have created lots and lots of online methods for players to develop their characters quickly and easily. D&D Beyond is a commonly used, beginner-friendly one that has an app for mobile use, but the downside is that it keeps a lot of things behind paywalls, and the limitations of this can get frustrating. This is why I tend to use the Dungeon Master's Vault website for my character creation. It does have its own limitations, but overall it is a much more cost-effective way to make a character sheet. Once you've created your free account, you can get yourself to the character builder page to get started. Now immediately you'll see that Aarakocra is not included in the list or preset races that you can give to your character. If this was D&D Beyond, you would need to pay to have these stats in your character sheet. But in Dungeon Master's Vault, you can just select the click here to add a race button, and you'll be taken to this page. Now, I know that all this stuff looks really daunting, but this is really pretty easy. You can look up Aarakocra stats online, and you'll find a website that has everything you need to plug in here. Once you've done that, hit Save to Browser Storage, go back to Character Builder, and boom, Aarakocra. Then you can go to the Class/Level tab and put in Rogue. Check with your DM about what level your characters are going to be starting at. Most campaigns start with level 1, so we'll just leave it at that. And now we come to the ability scores. There are 3 methods of figuring out your character stats and the basic ability modifiers that determine your character's skill set. Again, check with your DM to see if they have a preference, but if not, you can go ahead and pick between point buy, dice roll, or standard scores. Point buy is where you start with an 8 in all character stats, and you're given a set of points to distribute to your character how you see fit. Like we would want Sal to be sneaky and sly, so it would be a good idea to give a lot of points to dexterity, intelligence, and charisma. You could use dice roll. The computer will do it for you in Dungeon Master's Vault. But if you like to use your physical dice and enter the stats manually, this is done by rolling 4 6-sided dice and adding the 3 highest results together to get each stat. I personally prefer this method since it gives the game an air of reality. Like, we don't get to pick what we're naturally talented at in real life, so why should our characters get to? Sometimes, though, the stats the dice can give us can be comically low. There's also standard scores, or standard array as some people call it. This gives us the scores 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8 to distribute to your skills as desired. The idea of this is to create a balanced character with strengths and weaknesses. Next comes alignment and background. If you're even vaguely a nerd, you probably have some idea of the Dungeons & Dragons alignment system. This combination of moral ideas are meant to guide how you play your characters. They can be lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, or chaotic evil. However, several players have issues with this system of development since it's awfully regressive from a philosophical standpoint to say that the entirety of a being is evil or good or neutral down to the core. I prefer to use more nuanced motivational systems like the Enneagram, but the choice is up to you. Again, talk with your DM to see if alignment is going to matter at all in your game. What definitely does matter though is your character's background. Background determines your character's upbringing and past experiences, which will have an effect on your stats and abilities. Dungeon Master's Vault only had the Acolyte background preset, but you can add more using data from secondary sources, just like how we added in the Aarakocra option. I tend to use this handy flowchart by A Green on Pinterest to determine which of the backgrounds my character needs. Let's make Sal a soldier who went rogue. The Proficiencies tab lets you pick which skills and tools your character will be especially good at. I think that Sal needs skills in acrobatics, deception, sleight of hand, and stealth. A proficiency in thieves' tools and dice, and expertise in stealth. A level 1 rogue is never going to have spells, so this next tab is irrelevant to us, but it would offer a spellcasting class a list of spells they could pick from. We go to the next tab and we are given equipment options, and at this point we can just scroll to the bottom of the page and find our starting options. Sal is going to get the short bow pack, the burglar's pack, and a short sword. Now that the hard part's done, we can add whatever we feel like we want to develop Sal in the description tab, save her, and export the PDF, and boom, you've got a D&D character ready to play in any first level campaign. Thanks for watching. Bye.